Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Red Eyes Black Dragon Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post-Duelist Nexus. I always am a fan of updating the Red Eyes Black Dragon deck, and you all seem to like it as well. We only got one new card for the deck in the form of Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh booster set, but nonetheless, I feel an update is due just to keep the changes up to date with you all and what I've done with the deck since the last update from Maze of Memories. This card definitely does help with search power in the deck, just having an easy access to Red Eyes Fusion thanks to it, and with it you can have it set up in the graveyard pretty easily with some of the other cards we run in the deck as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For our go-to main monster in the deck, we're running 3 copies of Red Eyes Black Dragon. It's just the necessity for the good majority of the plays in the deck, whether we go for our Xyz summons, our fusion summons, you name it, you have all the cards available to you, and easy ways to special summon out our Red Eyes Black Dragon onto the field, whether it be with some of the spell cards we run in the deck, the trap cards, or our go-to monsters, one of them being our Red Eyes Soul. Now, the one thing I'm mixing around number-wise with Red Eyes Soul is how many copies I'm running of this card compared to our new copy of the Red Eyes in the deck, which is Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. We'll start off with this card. You can send one level 5 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, then increase its level by 1. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to add 1 Red Eyes Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You're going to use each effect of Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon once per turn. So it is a search power for our go-to spell card in the deck as well, Red Eyes Fusion, being an easy special summon, which it is a level 6 dragon monster. So on top of the option, then increasing its level by 1, if you were to summon it through other means onto the field for your plays, you do have a level 6 dragon monster to then be able to summon out your Meteor Black Comet Dragon, which you can use as one of the fusion materials to send from your main deck to the graveyard with this card off of Red Eyes Fusion, and then banishing it the following turn to add the Red Eyes Fusion that you used the previous turn back to your hand. If you wanted to, I'm leaning more towards a maybe 2-2 ratio in the deck for these cards, dropping down Red Eyes Soul. Red Eyes Soul has a once per duel effect for its second card effect to target a Red Eyes Black Dragon you control and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. You're going to use that effect of Red Eyes Soul once per duel, but its first effect being able to become Red Eyes Black Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard, and if your opponent special summons a monster except during the damage step, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck except for Red Eyes Soul, giving you an access to a good majority of cards in the deck. The Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon can be searched out with some of the other cards that we run in the deck for the send power, or like I said, just sent to the graveyard with cards like Red Eyes Fusion, but it's player preference in the numbers you want to go for, but more than likely I'm going for a 2-2 in the deck to begin with. We also run the 3 copies of the Black Stone of Legend, just for more special summon options. You contribute this card to special summon a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster from your deck except for Red Eyes Black Chick, and then with this card having the option to also just target out Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon also was why I was debating on how many copies of this card I wanted to run in the deck, being a card that could also disrupt some of our plays for the potential summon, but just being able to tribute this and summon out any of our Red Eyes monsters onto the field except for Red Eyes Black Chick, and then you can target a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster in your graveyard except for Red Eyes Black Chick, shuffle into the deck, and then add this card back to your hand for recycle power. I also run the 2 copies of Black Metal Dragon. You can target a Red Eyes you control, equip this card from your hand or field of that target, it gains 600 attack, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Red Eyes card from your deck to your hand. Having another search for a Red Eyes card opens up possibilities for cards we potentially may want to add to our hand for then a send and special summon, but also being able to equip our Black Metal Dragon onto other Red Eyes cards like Red Eyes Slash Dragon for the added negate power of this card is also available to us to use. For the warrior target for Red Eyes Slash Dragon, I run 2 copies of Gearfried, the Red Eyes Iron Knight. Once per turn, if either player equips an equip card to this card, you can destroy those equip cards. Then you can destroy one Spiral Trap card your opponent controls. Once per turn, you can send one equip card you control that is equipped to this card to the graveyard to then target a level 7 or lower Red Eyes in your graveyard and special summon it. So Gearfried gives us more resources to summon out onto the field, but most of the time it is just the Warrior Send off of Red Eyes Fusion and Red Eyes from the deck to the graveyard, so we can summon out our Red Eyes Slash Dragon onto the field. Very powerful fusion monster with the equip power and negate power to stop an opponent's card that would target one we control. For some of the lower numbers for the Red Eyes monsters, I'm also running the 1 copy of Red Eyes Retro Dragon. If a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster you control except for Red Eyes Chick is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. If you do, special summon as many of those destroyed monsters as possible that were destroyed, and then you contribute this card to normal summon 1 Red Eyes monster during your main phase this turn except for Red Eyes Black Chick in addition to your normal summoner set. So it's a special summon play that can get back some plays. It's a little more situational depending on when you want to use this card. That's why I'm only running 1 copy of it. Same with Red Eyes Wyvern. This card can be set up in the graveyard, so during the end phase, if you did not normal or set a monster this turn, being able to banish this card from your graveyard to special summon a Red Eyes monster, it's an available option if you're just going for more of a special summon play that turn to then banish Wyvern to get another summon onto the field. And then also the 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon for more special summon plays. The Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning, having this normal monster on the field, so then we can also go into cards like Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. And then the 1 Red Eyes Impact. Now this was another card I potentially was going to take out for a second copy of Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon if I wanted to keep Red Eyes Soul to a copy of 3. So you can remove the Red Eyes Impact for a second copy since it does count as a level 6 dragon monster to send, with the last of the one-ofs in the deck being the 1 copy of Red Eyes Alternative Dragon and the 1 Dark Magician. You have plenty of searches for your Red Eyes cards in the deck to begin with, so then you can just have these be one-ofs in the deck to then have the play off of Red Eyes Soul to search out whichever one you specifically needed for your play. And for the only non-Red Eyes 3 of that I run the deck, the 3 copies of Noctovision Dragon. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a face-down card you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate that effect. And also, you can use each of the following effects of Noctovision Dragon once per turn. If a Dark Dragon monster is special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if it's sent to the graveyard as link material, you can draw 1 card. So Noctovision can either be used with your Red Eyes monsters to then overlay into the specific plays we need for our summons onto the field, and then the additional play of being able to summon out those Noctovision monsters for the additional summon of our monsters to use on the field, or even using it for the link play to then summon out. I'm not sure if I showed Dark Magician before or not, but I'm also running the 1 copy of Dark Magician, so then we can have the additional send to summon out our Red Eyes Dark Dragoon to the graveyard, with this being the 1 card sent with the Red Eyes Black Dragon. I know I showed all of the other one-ofs before. I just think I overlooked the Dark Magician when going over those cards. Moving on now to the spells, we are running the 3 copies of Red Eyes Insight. You send 1 Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard to add 1 Red Eyes spell or trap card from your deck to your hand except for Red Eyes Insight. You're going to activate 1 Red Eyes Insight per turn, but just being able to send a Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard means we could also potentially set up the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon off of this card to begin with, sending it to the graveyard, and then adding Red Eyes Fusion off of this card, and then using the Red Eyes Fusion then the following turn, since you can't use it the turn you send Black Meteor Dragon, to banish to add it back to our hand, giving us a 2 Red Eyes Fusion search. Speaking of which, we are running 3 copies of this card as well. We have plenty of fusion targets to use in this deck with the Red Eyes Fusion, so just being able to have that fusion play. And then also you cannot normal or special summon other monsters this turn. You can only activate 1 Red Eyes Fusion per turn, but you can also set monsters from your hand. So if you were just to set a monster face down, then you have the play there to then have your opponent potentially attack into these monsters to set them up for some other plays. For some of the lower numbers for these spells, I also run the 2 copies of Cards of the Red Stone. You send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from your hand to the graveyard to draw 2 cards. Then you can send 1 level 7 Red Eyes monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 card of the Red Stone per turn. I was debating running how many copies of this card I wanted to in the deck. Also for the fact that you can't send your Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, since it has to be a level 7 monster. Off of the send for this card, a Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon is sadly a level 6. You do have plenty of draw power since you have a good number of other level 7 Red Eyes monsters in the deck, including Red Eyes Soul for that. So that's why I decided to leave this as a 2 of count in the deck, just for more draw power in our deck to begin with. And then also the 2 copies of Dragon Shrine, just like Red Eyes Insight. It's just a good send to the graveyard, because then you can send your Red Eyes Black Dragon, sending the normal monster off of the card search, and then also sending 1 more dragon in addition to that one from your deck to the graveyard, thanks to it being a 2-card foolish if you sent a normal monster. And then also 1 copy of Monster Reborn and the 1 copy of Dragon Nails. Equipping only to a dark monster, it gains 600 attack. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and if it's sent to the graveyard because of the equipped monster was destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon that monster, and if you do, equip this card to it, but banish it when it leaves the field. It's just another way to make full power use of Red Eye Slash Dragon, having another card equipped onto it off of its own card effect, and then also the Dragon Nails, and then just being able to special summon it back onto the field to begin with, and then just banishing the Dragon Nails. So sadly, you can't continue the loop with that. For the trap cards, I run 2 copies of Red Eyes Fang with Chain. A good way to then just be able to take your opponent's cards, being able to target 1 Red Eyes monster you control, equip this card to it. It can make up to 2 attacks on monster during each battle phase, and you can send this equipped card to the graveyard to target 1 effect monster on the field, equip that target monster to this card that was equipped to it, and if you do, while that monster is equipped to it, by its effect, its attack becomes double the original attack and defense of that equipped monster. So then you have another way just to take one of your opponent's cards, equipping it onto one of your own to begin with, but still being able to make use of the equip play, like if you were to equip it onto your Red Eyes Gearfried the Iron Knight also. And then 1 copy of Red Eyes Spirit for another Red Eyes search card off of Red Eyes Insight, and same with Return of the Red Eyes, having 2 special summon options thanks to these 1-of traps that I run in the deck. Moving on now to the extra deck, I run 2 copies of Red Eyes Slash Dragon, needing a Red Eyes and a Warrior monster. When a Red Eyes monster declares an attack, you can target a Warrior monster in your graveyard, equip that to this card as an equipped spell. So you can equip the Gearfried you sent off of this card to begin with. The equipped monster gains 200 attack, and when a card effect is activated that targets a card you control, you can send 1 equipped card you control to the graveyard to negate the activation and destroy that card. So whether you have your Black Metal Dragon equipped onto this card, or your Red Eyes Fang with Chain, or your Dragon Nails, or just the monster, once again, that you equip onto begin with, you have all these options available to you thanks to Red Eyes Slash Dragon. That's why I like to run 2 of this card. It's just an easy fusion monster to summon out. The 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon for the Dark Magician Red Eyes play, and also the easy negate and destruction power. The Meteor Black Comet Dragon, one of the better burn options to then also use with our Red Eyes Soul to hit for some pretty big damage with the 2 of them. And then also the 1 Archfiend Black Skull Dragon to finish off the fusion monsters for what we summon out. I thought of running the Claw of Hermos in the deck. If you were to do so, you can adjust your Red Eyes fusion numbers for maybe 1 copy of Claw of Hermos, and then maybe take out 1 copy of the Red Eyes Slash Dragon for a copy of the Red Eyes Sword for that card to be able to summon out. For the Xyz monsters, I run the 1 copy of Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon for the effect option to not be destroyed by card effects, and then inflicting 500 damage to your opponent after each card resolves when your opponent activates a card or effect. The 1 Dark Arm Dragon of Annihilation for more destruction power with your rank 7 monsters. The 1 number 11 Big Eye, along with the 1 number 76, and the 1 Mecha Phantom Beast Dragosack for all of our rank 7 options to go into. And then also the 1 Divine Arsenal Zeus to overlay into whatever Xyz monsters that have already used the materials, and having that additional 3,000 attack by monster to wipe the board with. For our Link monsters, I run the 1 copy of the Dark Charmer Gloomy, the 1 Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres, the 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and the 1 Apollosa to finish off the rest of the extra deck monsters that we run, for just some more generic ones to also help with special summoning some dark attribute monsters or dragon monsters, or just better spin back and negation plays also. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, revolving around our new monster, which is the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. You have this card as an easy setup depending on what spell you use for it. So you can go with the activation of your Red Eyes Insight to send a Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard. So you can send your Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, adding the preferred Red Eyes Fusion card as well. And then using the two together, you can activate your Red Eyes Fusion to then send a Red Eyes monster materials needed. So you can send your Red Eyes and then also the warrior monster of choice for the play to then be able to summon out your Red Eyes Slash Dragon, having the equip option when Red Eyes attacks with your Gearfried. And then the following turn, you can then activate your Red Eyes monster to special summon this card. For the there would be the hand effect for the special summon, but you'll banish it from the graveyard the following turn to then be able to add back the Red Eyes Fusion and activate it the same way you did before. You could also go for the Red Eyes and Dark Magician play if you wanted to go for more of a power play on the field with the negation of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and then have the same shuffle banish action to then add the fusion back and do the same play with Red Eyes Slash Dragon the following turn. Just play a preference on which one you want to get out on the field to begin with. The Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon can also be sent to the graveyard off of Red Eyes Fusion as a send with Meteor Dragon and then Red Eyes Black Dragon to summon out our Red Eyes Black Comet Dragon, needing the level 6 Dragon type monster and a Red Eyes monster. For this card, then you can send a Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard to inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the original attack of that monster. So then with this play, you can then send your monster to your opponent equal to half the original monster, and then having that burn damage depending on the Red Eyes monster you send. You could potentially send Red Eyes Soul off of Black Meteor Comet Dragon to then use the effect of your Red Eyes Soul. Quick effect targeting a Red Eyes Black Dragon control. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to that original attack. So you have the play of this card from the graveyard for the special summon back onto the field. But remember, you're locked into special summons thanks to Red Eyes Fusion, but just another way to set it up in the graveyard to begin with. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. It's really awesome to be able to update the Red Eyes deck with all the new support we get every so often. And I hope you all enjoyed it as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.